John here, I'm back with a sofa chat video. So I thought I'd do a video today because I'm in the mood to do it. Really, it has been a while. So since it has been such a long time since I've done a video, I just thought I'd do a quick sort of haul, catch up on everything I've bought in the past few months, and then just natter about some stuff. So I'll do the haul side of things first of all, because I know a lot of people just come for the bots, they're not really interested in the chatting side. So it's just really going to be a quick look at each of the bots I've purchased lately, and just quick thoughts on them, and I'll go into the chat side of things. So, haul time. Yeah, so I've bought a few bots since TF Nation, and a lot of that was, to be honest, because I had some cash left over. Rather than, spending it on one sort of expensive third party figure, I went to Edinburgh, and they have a big shopping complex called Fort Kinnaird, which has a Smiths and Toys R Us. Smiths, when I went up there at that time, didn't have anything that I wanted. They were so stuck in the Titans Return Wave 1 line for the deluxes, and like everybody at TF Nation, I was looking for Wave 2, but they just didn't have them at the time. However, went to the little Toys R Us, and they had the mini Titan Masters, just Wave 1 though. So, out of all of them, I got all four. This guy is my favourite. He is just brilliant. I don't know, I can't remember the names of the Titans Master figures, but out of all four of the wave, I really do like him. I think it's just, out of all of them, the way he uses his head for part of the transformation is clever, as opposed to just being a vehicle where you stick them in. He is actually part of the dinosaur, I think it's Clobber, I could be wrong, I can't remember what this guy's name is, but he's my favourite. And yes, as I say, I do have the other guys. This guy's head is in Willy, just wanted to make sure it would fit, and it does. Since there was nothing in the way of Titans, I decided to delve into the Rid figures, and they had the Toys R Us exclusive Rid Starscream, which I managed to get for £15 instead of the £20 price point because he was on the wrong peg. And since I used to work in retail, I know the tricks, and asked, and hey ho, I got him for 15. I'm quite underwhelmed, to be honest. The plastic feels quite cheap, and the old ball joint on the legs and the hips dead loose and falling off quite easily. However, alt mode's brilliant, quite reminiscent of the Generation 1 Cybertronian jet mode. I really wish they would do a massive piece version of that, that'd be awesome. So I eventually did manage to get some Wave 2 stuff in Edinburgh on the Titans Returns line, but it wasn't at the fort, it was at Jenner's. Now Jenner's, I've probably mentioned it a few times in videos in the past, but it's kind of like Harrods, a massive, quite expensive shopping centre, but they do have a toy shop that is either ran or stocked, at the very least it's definitely stocked by the Entertainer, and they were the guys that were first getting in the Wave 2, albeit the new price point of £20, but hey ho, that's what happens these days, price of inflation. And they only had two, unfortunately, at the time in the deluxe line, which was Chrome Dome, which I don't want at the moment because I do have the Make Toys Masterpiece version, which I love, and the other one was Mind Wipe. Love the alt mode, I love the robot mode. The alt mode is terrible, it just doesn't work. If anything, it might have worked if he was a Voyager, but the organic look, I don't like it, especially for Mind Wipe. It should be a robotic looking bat like it was in the Generation 1 toy and cartoon, in my opinion. But since I display my robot on the shelf in robot mode, then since that is my favourite out of the two modes, he's absolutely fine. Next time we went to Edinburgh, I was meeting Dorian and we had a quick catch up, and he was telling me about his blogging site there, the Refined Robot Company and stuff, and I popped into Jenner's again. Also went to TK Maxx hoping for a Power Master Optimus Prime on the cheap, but no joy. However, I did manage to snag Highbrow, and out of the three I have from Wave 2, he's my favourite. It is just a Scourge retool, but a rather extreme retool at that. It's brilliant, even the wobbly head doesn't bother me. Robot mode and alt mode are spot on, but I've been told that Make Toys are going to do a Highbrow, so I'm probably going to get him in the future. And finishing off Wave 2, I picked this guy up, Wolfwire or Werewolf, whatever you want to call him, when I was doing some Christmas shopping at Smiths. They have loads of Wave 2 figures, or they did anyway last time I was up there, but only one of him. I had a good look through because the box was a bit bashed up, and I do like to check for some sort of paint and QC issues, as it can happen quite a bit with Hasbro's Transformers, but this was the only one they had, so I got lucky anyway. It doesn't seem to be any sort of QC or paint issues with this guy at all. The only thing I don't like in his alt mode is that the leg panels, they don't stick in anywhere, and they just sort of sit there in friction, but other than that, he's really good. And also, when I was on my holiday, I did get a rather expensive purchase, and it was, if I can get this in, and you probably guessed it, was the MP Optimus Primal, and the LED feature works really well. Robot mode is spot on. It is pretty much animation accurate. You can't fault it. Alt mode suffers, but it's always going to suffer with Beast Formers, particularly from the Beast Wars era. You can get away with it with the G1 Beasties because they were sort of techno-robotic and what have you, but these guys are always going to suffer a little bit. But head sculpt, the interchangeable faces, he is a vast improvement over the original Beast Wars Ultra Optimus Primal. I know people are disagreeing with that, but he's definitely more cartoon accurate than that one ever was. He has less features, I suppose, but this one wins overall. I would keep him and sell my Ultra Optimus Primal if I had to pick between the two. So I'm going to do my talky bit now. Now I am filming it a little bit later than the other part of the video. That's because the file that I recorded earlier became corrupted with this part of the video. So yeah. So I might look a bit more haggard, and the lighting's not as good, unfortunately, but never mind. So thanks for staying to watch this part. I know that people just like to, watch robots and look at robots and what I think about them. That's okay, that's brilliant. If you've done that, fantastic, thank you. If you stayed on to watch this, even better. So I'm just going to talk about my TF Nation experience, the social side more than the dealer room stuff. With the dealer room, that's the main reason why I go to the Transformers conventions. I'm going to be dead honest with you there. It's simply because it costs such an amount of money to get there. I might as well save up and go for a purpose, which is to get figures that I want that I can't get normally at retail or in general in stock. So that's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why I go to these conventions for that. I know it's not the best thing to say, but I'd rather be truthful when I'm discussing the conventions. So the social side of the convention is what I want to speak about. If I start off with the Sunday evening, now that's the low point of the convention really. Everybody was quite dead, quiet and quite down and everything like that, probably because it was coming to an end. But Auto Assembly last year, everybody was quite in high spirits right up to the Survivors photo. I mean, this year me and Paul didn't even bother waiting to see if they'd done that. I don't know if they did or not. Just didn't have the same vibe. I guess with it being the last Auto Assembly for a lot of people that were there, that was probably because that was the last one, so they wanted to make the most of it, and they weren't going to do TF Nation or didn't know what the situation was. But I did feel that this year it was just sort of after 6 or 7, the mood just kind of went and flattened out. But never mind. And in contrast, when myself and Paul and we met Crag on the train on the Friday, we also seen Nosey on the train just as he was waiting to get off. We said hello, but then off he went. I don't know why he didn't want to stay and say hello. He's quite an engine Nosey because he was gone in a flash. Fair enough, more power to him. But when the three of us got to the reception of the Hilton, there was a few guys there, Brad, Hugh, Dorian and a couple of others that came and said hello to us, and that was really nice. That started off the weekend's events in a nice positive manner. Later on that day we met a couple of people at the bar. First we met Stu, I'm sure we met Shut, and that might have been later on at night, that the time's a bit blurry. But what we did do is, Dorian wanted to do this before even going there. He had this mindset and this plan that he was going to get a group of people together and we're all going to go out and have something to eat, just to try and bring more of the fandom together. Because you know what it's like, we all have our various friends that we want to speak to and things, and that's fair enough, but this was just a nice way to introduce us to new people, and it did. We had met Rich, Zort Rider, and Emily at the sort of late afternoon when we went down to the bar just to get a drink once we'd settled in. Emily actually went up to Paul and said, "Oh, there's a stranger wanting to speak to you," or something along those lines, and we thought it was going to be Dave Mentz, of course, for reasons, but he wasn't there yet. It was Zort Rider, Rich, and myself and Paul, and even Dave Shotton. Now we're really good friends and chat quite a lot on WhatsApp. He's a real nice guy. Same sense of humour as the three of us. I won't go. Our sense of humour is quite twisted, but really nice. Really enjoyed chatting to him. And we met up with Ben Waspshot, John Barnett, and a few other guys that I've never met before. And oh, it's Christmas. Hold on. I'm not going to edit this because I'm professional. I went to this burger place, like I was saying there, and Paul sat down and had a chat, and while we were going there we had a quick chat with each other, and I had a couple of guys ask me why I like Ultra Magnus, specifically MP Ultra Magnus. I really can't remember their names, which is a bit shit, I do apologise, and sorry guys, and also it's terrible, my brain is absolutely shot, and just had a general chat with other people as well about Transforms. It was good. I mean, in the end we all split up and went to our normal groups after it, but that time was brilliant. The other times where I really enjoyed myself, it was, to be honest, it was outside the usual Saturday night, Friday night piss up section. It was either when we were sitting in the hall on Friday night waiting for the movie, or at the breakfasts. Now, myself and Paul, we sat down with Stu and Ed, Bumblejumper 84. And that was really nice, just chatting about what we're going to do in the dealer room on the Saturday morning, what we were going for, and if we're coming back next year, stuff like that. And then me and Paul went to Q, and they went to Q, and we met Rich again, who jumped to Q with us, but never mind. I had a really good chat with him there as well. And this Saturday night, myself and Paul went and privately spoke to Dorian in his hotel room about stuff. I'm not going to go into it because it's private. Sunday night, Sunday morning I should say, myself and Paul met up with Dave Shotton. We managed to get a good chat. We hadn't really bumped into Dave Shotton that much on the Saturday because it was busy and there was lots of stuff going on, like the TFYTC meetup and things. And on the Friday night you had the movie viewing, which Dave didn't want to go to, and loads of things that were going on. But on the Sunday morning, we just sat and had breakfast. I had a brilliant chat about life in general. Didn't really bring up Transformers that much at all. It was really good. And he stayed with us for a little bit. I want you to sort of peruse the dealer room on the Sunday, and then had to get yourself ready to go. Moments like that, and the one that does stand out, apart from the breakfasts, was on the Sunday evening. Myself, Paul, Craggy, and Ben Waspshot and John Barnett, we all went to Frankie and Benny's for something to eat, and just sitting there chatting to them, I came up with a cheesy line like saying, I come for the toys, but this moment is what makes the convention for me, and they all sort of nodded. That was soppy shit, but for me that was true. Stuff like that, and also the sort of lull times after you've been at the dealer room and there's nothing really going on. There's no panels. It's sort of the quiet time until everybody drinks and gets pissed up, and then it all kicks off again. Things like that, those make the convention for me. Now, I don't drink that much these days, and my nature is that I might come off as standoffish, but it's more that I'm a shy person and quite reserved. I don't really socialise that much. I'm not one of those guys that's, oh shit, again, too many people. It's just the way I am. I have a group of friends, and I'll usually stick to that. I don't really socialise at work either. So going to a convention, it was really nice, but I think maybe next time I go, I'll have more drinks just to try and sort of relax myself a little bit, because I was still quite, you know, standoffish with, well, coming off as standoffish anyway with a few guys. It was nice to chat to Brad, Dave Ment, Stu, Dave Shotton, Dorian. I even managed to chat to Inkybods, as well as usual Twitter crowd, Lisa and a few others. You know, the guys that I really interact with online for the most part. The Glaug, you know, guys like that. Of course, Martin Cull, who I don't speak to enough these days. That is I'm going around in circles again, but that is what makes a convention. I say my regrets were I wasn't very socially active in it, and probably drink a little bit more next time I'm there. But well, we'll see how it goes next time. There's definitely going to be a next time. I mean, I'm hoping it is TF Nation 2018. Taking a year out because, like I said earlier, various things going on next year, and it's just simply it's not affordable for us to go. And when I say us, Paul does have other stuff on. It's not that we are a couple. It's just he has other things to do next year as well. So no, we don't come as a package, but you know, yeah. So yeah, overall, brilliantly positive experience, and I do recommend it to anyone who hasn't been yet. You will enjoy it. You'll find people to chat to. You'll have common interest. You'll have discussions about things. It's really enjoyable, and while it's expensive, it's worth it. Do go. So yeah, that's just really what I wanted to chat about. It's not going to be edited, this part, because I've just simply not got time to do it. I do, however, want to try and get another video out just before Christmas. I've got a book coming which I'd like to discuss. If it comes in time, it's coming from China, but it should make it in time for me to maybe do a filming next Sunday. We'll see how it goes. Until then, however, have a nice day, and I hope you've had a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time.